Hi, this is Scott Holstad, poet, writer, author, and I haven't put out a video in a while. I've been really under the weather for a few weeks, and I mean under the weather, and I know that sounds vague, but it's more a situation of too many things to describe and insufficient detail. I have had for a long time a lot of very serious health problems, and so those have been plaguing me in new, interesting ways, and hallways, difficult for me. Hey, kitty. My mother died last year, and I'm pretty much the last one left. I've also had to be executor of a surprisingly contentious estate, which I'm trying very, very hard to close out as soon as possible after a long, long time. A lot of things going on, but I haven't really had the chance to do a lot of new writing. I've been working on some new experimental series, and had some pieces published here and there, but it's almost the end of the year. I've had almost a record year, possibly, in terms of individual pieces published, poems mostly, but also short stories, essays, nonfiction pieces, a few other things. Also, I'm expecting, I think, to appear in my 9th or 10th anthology this month of the year, and of course my first new book of poems in a long, long time. It came out in October. Of course you can't see it. Titled Surviving Immortality Again, and Scott C. Holstad. Available on Amazon, paperback, 90 poems, 132 pages, $12.99. I've been reading in recent videos, not from this book, the new book, but from some of my very old out-of-print books, which most of you would not have been exposed to. Some short stories, some other things, and I decided to go back to the new book and read some pieces, possibly that may reflect my recent mood, which is to say not good. So this may be a less humorous or less entertaining reading than some recent ones, with apologies. This book recently reviewed in Tr1ggerz Reviews and U.S. Review of Books and a number of other places, as well as on Goodreads and Amazon. Thanks to all of you who have. But I think Tr1ggerz basically said it was they gave it a decent review, but they said it was incredibly bleak. And that's sort of the point. Yeah, actually it's meant to be Surviving Immortality Again. I've picked out a few pieces to read today, 4 or 5, and I don't know if I've done this before, but I'm just going to say verbally right now, I don't know that this would be the case, but it may be that 1 or 2 pieces could be triggering to some people. I think I'm staying away from some of the really brutal pieces, but some of these may be. If you find yourself concerned or potentially concerned, perhaps avoid the video. I really don't think there's anything here that horrible or crazy or terrible, but then again, that's my life. I have my own triggers. I guess I'll just get into it. I'm going to have to take off the shades. And yeah, a lot of lack of sleep, a lot of awesome pain issues, which I'm used to. Years, I typically have very high pain tolerance, but it's been a bit of a bear recently. I have to put on my reading glasses. Look like a total dork. More so than usual. Yeah. And I guess I'll just launch right into it. We'll see how this works out. The first one I'm going to read is called Killing is an Art Redux. I believe this was published this year or last year by the esteemed Blood and Honey journal, which is putting out really excellent stuff by a lot of really talented people. And I've been lucky enough to appear in a few issues myself. Killing is an Art Redux. Girl with ectoplasmic protogism floating around her head, halo-like, flies by slowly. A man with oversized black cam takes photo pic and whips undersized, sad, funny cock out, starts weakly beating off. Herky-jerky. Is this love? Slit eyes squint shut to avoid slobber deep tongue contact. Wait, what do you mean? I sold my soul there years ago, and anyway, it's hotter than shit in here. The next one I'm going to read is called Tr1ggerz. I actually don't recall which journal published this, but that's probably irrelevant for this anyway. It's from the book. I have tried for so damn long. God knows I tried. But honestly, there's a big part of me, of my seared soul, that's been drenched with fucking napalm, and so I keep the guns to my side. And I fucking use my knives on me for some misunderstood bloodletting. And I keep my fists to myself. Except for that one time behind Java City where that damn proselytizing religious fuck who said he wanted to go be with his savior showed his true yellow spine. When I tried to help expedite things for him as a favor by beating him to bloody goddamn near death. But other than that, I keep it tight as I can, see? Though sometimes it's crazy painful to keep it tamped down, so yeah, sometimes it flares. Like with that near crucifixion. I mean, I ain't perfect, you know? But at those times especially, it hurts. I mean, she doesn't even have the damn courage to kiss me on my lips. I swear, I can fucking feel her stifle her screams, disgust, terror, horror. It's sometimes hard to tell who hates me more, her or me. The next one is actually from a series I did over several years. This is called Days Stretching Forever. Standing in line to get her food stamps, I think of my love, tiny Asian stripper with two small kids working in a KCDC housing project, bloated with bloody gangsters and trying desperately to make it out while killing rats and visiting sewer roaches, wanting that degree, avoid the crackheads and escape. Cops patrolling the streets stop me every time I enter the edge-wired hood, glaring hate. Nighttime together generates passion, steam, wild fucks, but everything else seems cold and surreal. As I wait for the food stamps, I flash back to Beverly Hills, Ferraris, and an old dead life. A number of my books, I think from the late 90s, particularly in the early 2000s, dealt with a lot of nightmares that I've been able to enjoy over the course of my entire life for the most part, starting, I think, at age 4, perhaps earlier, when I should never have been exposed to things that I had nightmares about. It's very sheltered, so God knows how the hell that happened. But many of my nightmare poems, which have been commented on in a number of reviews over the years, can seem a little offensive. That's the point, they're nightmares. This is called Wronged. I believe Horror Sleaze Trash published it in 2024. A dead baby floating downriver, eyes unseen. Somewhere a man strangles his wife and kids. Pass me another beer, would ya? He died in jail. They got him just like they promised they would. His mom probably has him sitting on the TV at home, a nice frame around the photo. I'm sitting by a little fish pond watching the fish vie for dominance. The big ones are winning. Reminds me of jail. I slid a piece of broken glass down my arm slowly, and the blood flowed gently until it formed a mural on my arm. Just call me an artist. Bukowski was wrong. These words don't matter. You pound them out and send them off, and they're gone just like that, and all you're left with is a blank screen staring you in the face. And I knew Bukowski. He was rarely wrong. I may go with one more. I tried to determine whether I should end on a rare up note, because I did include some that were meant to be humorous or whatnot, but I decided, no, let's just keep it sort of consistent. This poem is long. It's titled Once the Meek Died Young. And in context, many decades ago, I wrote a poem titled The Meek Died Young. I think around the time I was living in Phoenix, or maybe had moved to Long Beach, early 90s, and appeared in one of my early poetry collections. And this is sort of revisiting the scene, scenario, quite some time later. And my observations of how things were quite some time later in comparison or contrast. This was published by, I think, Bristol and Noah, either early this year, 2025, or last year. They usually publish stories of mine, crime stories, thrillers, stuff like that. This is, I think, the only poem they've ever published of mine, the only one I've ever sent them. Once the Meek Died Young. The kids were once out on Roosevelt and Fifth, who disappeared once the drug and plague wars started, still aren't out. Now, later, here today, and their absent limbs larger than ever over these seedy scenes where cars still cruise by. Dope-ass shits wanting and needing to score that hit or to get blown by pretty gangsta angels. And the bums are forever there, many long gone, hadn't met their maker, but the near-dead recruits clutching still precious sacks and baggies to their scrawny, junked-out, toothless chests, while the gangs their sets just wandering around, hoping for some shit-kicking living life in their colors. As the cars slow and slow and slow, while pastoral occupants hunt young, no younger ass meat. And anyway, where are the kids tonight? The gunshots still ring out down blocks and alleys, schoolyards, bowling lanes, discos, strip malls, theaters, front porches, on Tenement Row. And once they pulled in 25 a night turning tricks, but now the married men hunting youth flesh can dole out hundreds to those hoping to save up for their gone pills and hormones and squared tits that still ain't drooping. No one thinks about age shiv no more, 'cause Johns only dig bareback. Pay extra to jizz without compunction. So yeah, pushers be pushing. Cops got lethal lead, qualified immunity, a swagger like 19th century sheriffs ready for the quick draw, 'cause ain't no shame in plugging them in the back anymore. And if you've come back looking here, or on Indian School, or 27th Avenue, or shit, anywhere else, the death stench still lingers from long ago to now, and the kids disappeared, but I'm still alive and looking. And that is the end of today's reading. I hope this resonated with some people. I hope you survived that. I did, barely. But these are just 5 of 90 poems in this book, and this book is just one of quite a few that really, this is a little easier on the eyes and ears and emotions than some of my older ones, believe it or not. And anyway, I guess in terms of reader response literary theory, it's not really my opinion that counts, it's the reader, isn't it? I usually end these videos that I'm not very good at, and I'm not a professional, and this isn't what I am trying to do professionally. It's just something on the side, initially in support of the new book, but I've been enjoying reading other stuff and doing other things and engaging with some of you. Now's the time, I guess, when I say it'd be great if someone wanted to give a like or two, or not. Subscribe, that'd be awesome. Share, please. I don't get that many views on YouTube, but some of the shares in other places, Twitter, whatnot, actually seem to get some views. And I don't really know what a lot of people think about the stuff I'm doing. I get a little feedback, it's pretty positive. Some people offer some suggestions, that's great too. I would like to try and work on some of those things. I have limited time and opportunity and energy, so I do want to improve this experience and perhaps provide some of the words that I read for you viewers to look at. Aside from the book I already mentioned, if you're interested, my website is hankrules2011.com. There's a lot of stuff there. And if you want to do a search on me, my name, often if you just append author or poet or writer, or even quotes after my name, including or not including the middle initial C, you'll come up with a lot of search results in most cases, some redundant, some utterly unique, occasionally bizarre, and I never know how to end these videos and feel quite stupid in doing so, but it's the eve of December 2025, and I hope all of you do have good holidays in this most trying of years, and safe holidays. I'll try to do more entertaining or pleasant video the next opportunity I get. Thanks so much. Take care. Ciao.